Yes. Welcome, everyone. Cannabis News with Joe Klare, November 6, 2018, election night. And here I am with your marijuana election results. We got results out of Michigan, North Dakota, Missouri, Utah, and a special bonus story, or result, rather, out of Texas. For those of you who are interested in that, we've been talking about it, the specific race, for several weeks now. All of that is coming up on our election night coverage. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com. Check out the organic, all-natural pesticides. If you're in a state where it's legal to grow, you want to be regulatory compliant, you don't want to use banned pesticides, and of course, you want to grow safe and poison-free. You don't want to use harmful chemicals on what you're growing. What you want to use is Natureside. Check them out, nature-side.com, a proud sponsor of Cannabis News. This first result, and these are screenshots, so a little behind of what the real-time vote is as I'm recording this, which I will have in front of me as well, and I'll update you on that. For example, out of Michigan, Proposal 1, with 59% reporting, had over 57% of the vote. A vote total, as you can see there, a lead of over 400,000 votes. In real time right now as I record this is now 64% reporting, and the yes has dropped down to 57.3%. There's been a slow decline with that as the night has gone on as far as the number of votes supporting it, and the percentages they're getting. It was up around 58%, a little over 58%. Now it's dropped about a percentage point, but I think at the rate it is going, Michigan is going to hold up as in the next state to legalize recreational marijuana. It's not official on like the New York Times.com. By the way, New York Times live election dashboard, very good. Ballotpedia, I mean, I understand Ballotpedia. I know people are going to comment and say, "Oh, Ballotpedia's they got to cover so many things," and that's fine. But really, when you click the little source thing on Ballotpedia, they're just pulling it from the New York Times. So NewYorkTimes.com, good job on your live election dashboard. They even had all the marijuana measures lined up easily for me to follow, so I wasn't going to a bunch of Secretary of State websites, which are behind anyway. Those are the real losers tonight, the Secretary of State websites. Get your stuff together. Get your, pardon my French, get your crap together. It's enough. But places like, getting back to Michigan, places like organizations, rather, like Marijuana Policy Project and Drug Policy Alliance have called it, quote unquote, for recreational legalization in Michigan. So congratulations to Michigan for Proposal 1 passing and legalizing recreational marijuana there. Unfortunately, opposite news out of North Dakota. This is official. You see there the screenshot with 89%, reporting is now 92% reporting. Over 59% of voters in North Dakota rejecting recreational marijuana. Not exactly surprising that Measure 3 went down to defeat in North Dakota, as I mentioned in print and here on this show. Very conservative state, very rural state, a state that Donald Trump won by 36 points. When you put it in that perspective, Donald Trump won by 36 points and the Measure 3 lost by less than 20 is some sort of an improvement, I guess. But North Dakota, they have medical marijuana. They'll continue with their medical marijuana program as limited as it may be. But recreational marijuana is not coming to North Dakota. And that's a shame for people in North Dakota, but you live and you learn and you move on. Now, in Missouri, there were 3 medical marijuana measures. And as I said on this show, it could have been very confusing. Maybe 2 of them would pass. Maybe 3 of them would pass. And then what would happen then? There would be different things that kick in that would give others precedent over the others. It doesn't matter because the two medical marijuana measures in Missouri that many activists did not like went down to defeat, leaving Amendment 2 to pass in Missouri. Medical marijuana, a 4% tax will be imposed on marijuana sales. The revenue dedicated to healthcare services for veterans, there you see with 92% reporting an overwhelming victory for medical marijuana. Amendment 2 in Missouri, almost 700,000 votes, 65% saying yes. And I can tell you in real time, again, with 93% reporting, it is still 65.3% saying yes to Amendment 2 in Missouri. So congratulations to Missouri, because that's all that really needed to happen, was one of the three pass. Now, I saw earlier tonight that Kevin Sabet from Smart Approaches to Marijuana, he tweeted out, the winners and the losers, and she scored it as 3-3. He's scoring Missouri as one victory for pro-marijuana forces, or whatever you want to call us, and 2 defeats for pro-marijuana forces in Missouri, because 2 of the amendments lost, as if all 3 would have passed, there would be 3 medical marijuana laws in Missouri. No, there would be 1. There was always going to be 1. The maximum number of medical marijuana laws in Missouri is 1. And there is 1. Those other 2, they don't count. It doesn't matter. It lessens the confusion surrounding what happened. There's a very clear, concise, concrete result. Amendment 2 passes in Missouri. That's a victory for pro-marijuana forces. It's not a victory in 2 defeats. It's dumb. There was not, like I said, the maximum amount of medical marijuana laws has been passed in Missouri. There was no getting around that. Only 1 was going to stand at the end of the day, and 1 does. Amendment 2. For Kevin Sabet to try to pass off the other 2 as, well, you went 1 for 3 there in Missouri. No, that's ridiculous. But he's a ridiculous person, and does and says ridiculous things. Now, Utah has still not been called, whatever you want to say, it has not been officially called as a success in Utah with the medical marijuana initiative, Proposition 2. See the screenshot there with 59% reporting. The 4 vote was up by about 52,000 votes in Utah. Again, with 59% reporting, it had about 54% of the vote in real time as I record this. They're up to 62% reporting, and the 4 vote is holding steady at 54% even. Hopefully that holds up, but as of right now, and this is 12:33 a.m. Eastern Time, as I do this show, medical marijuana is passing in Utah. So really, at the end of the day, if all this stands up, we're 3 for 4 in the 4 big states. There's other votes, obviously, in places, decrim measures in Ohio and other measures in Florida, referendum questions, a bunch of them in Wisconsin. We'll get to all of that as the week goes on. Of course, we'll recap these votes, give you the final vote totals on another show of Cannabis News, another episode of Cannabis News. And as I said, all this week we will talk about these issues and what it means for the future of the marijuana reform movement. Now, as promised, a bonus story. I said we'll get to Ohio and Florida and Wisconsin, all that in future episodes. But right now, a bonus story for those of you who are wondering about Representative Pete Sessions in Texas. Now, the Democrats, the last I saw, they were projected to gain control of the House of Representatives with a several-seat majority, very slim. What happens there remains to be seen. That's one of the stories we're going to look at going forward. Will the old guard Democrats, who seem to be assuming the leadership positions, or will assume the leadership positions, such as Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, committee chairmanships, and such, we'll see if the old guard is pressured enough by the new guard in the Democratic Party to push marijuana law reform measures. Now, Pete Sessions has been the chairman of the House Rules Committee and has single-handedly blocked many, many marijuana bills from getting to the floor of the House for a full vote, just blocking them on his own. And we conjectured maybe if he loses his seat, that logjam will be released. Well, the Democrats won control of the House, which means that Pete Sessions would no longer be chairman of the Rules Committee. But as it turns out, it gets even better because he will not even be the ranking Republican on the Rules Committee, because Pete Sessions is no longer a United States congressman. Democratic Colin Allred defeating Pete Sessions. There you see 78% precincts reporting, but it has been called Republican Representative Pete Sessions going down to defeat in his race in the 32nd District of Texas. No longer chairman of the Rules Committee, no longer on the Rules Committee, no longer a congressman. Goodbye, Pete Sessions. The other Sessions, of course, Jeff Sessions, no relation. Remains to be seen what happened to him. We'll follow that story in the next few weeks, because that will be interesting, because I suspect, and I predicted before, that sometime before January, I see Jeff Sessions being cleared out of his job as Attorney General of the United States. And that is a good thing. As I said, continue to stay tuned to Cannabis News. The rest of the week, we'll talk about all of this, catch you up on all the votes across the country, including more on the votes that I talked about tonight. Thanks, everybody, for liking and sharing and commenting. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. Click the video tab to find these videos. You're awesome. Big night. Marijuana election results. 3 out of 4. Sorry, North Dakota. Better luck next time. Michigan, Missouri, Utah. Good job. Utah still holding on. 63% is going up to 54.2% for. Good for them. Michigan vote holding steady as well. So it looks like those are going to continue to be a success story. Thanks, everybody, for checking the show. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.